So I've been Muslim for 2 years, and I'm born in America and I was raised with Southern Baptist. One thing that I never understood was this Trinity concept. Like, how was Jesus the Son of God? I believe that Jesus was a real person and but I never really quite understood how he could be God, but then a human at the same time. I stopped going to church from about 15 to 20. I would just consider myself agnostic or atheist. I always think that I believed in God. I moved to Belgium when I was 19, and that was the first time I was ever exposed to Islam, or I was ever exposed to Muslims, and that was because I was going to an international university. And sometimes we would have little Eid celebrations, and I would go to those, and it was just like a barbecue cookout nice event. And I had seen my friends pray once or twice, but I didn't really ask any questions. I didn't really bother to think about it any much more than I had to, and that was kind of it. It wasn't until one Ramadan that my friends told me that they were going to be fasting and they were not going to eat during the day or drink during the day, and they were just letting me know. And I said, oh, that's really interesting. I never heard about Ramadan. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know what fasting really was. My friends explained it to me and it sounded really interesting. I had never experienced or heard anything like that, so I asked if I could fast with them, and of course they were more than excited to let me fast with them. During that month we were fasting and my friends were praying and watching Islamic videos, and I just asked, like, oh, what are the typical things that you do outside of fasting during Ramadan? And they told me it's a time of learning, we're supposed to read a lot of Quran, we're supposed to give charity, these types of things. And I said, oh, the Quran, I've never read it, I'd be really interested to. And so they were excited to give me a copy, and I just started from the beginning. Honestly, that night I just intended to read maybe 1 or 2 pages just to try, but that night I sat through and I read all the way through Surah Baqarah, and I was kind of just feeling this feeling I never felt before. I never felt that I was reading something and it felt like it was speaking directly to me. And I never got this feeling with the Bible. Stories in the Bible I didn't really have a full grasp on at the time, or just maybe the way they were presented to me didn't make much sense. But reading the Quran, it was very clear. Everything was super clear. Of course, I was reading it in an English translation. That Ramadan was really a spark for my entire journey, and throughout that next year, I just dedicated a lot of time to learning about Islam. I wanted to learn how to pray. I didn't even know that the prayers were in Arabic. That was very overwhelming for me, and there's a crazy learning curve when it comes to Islam. I kept going. And throughout that year, and at the end of the year, I feel like I'm just role-playing as a Muslim. Like, I really did believe basic tenets of Islam. I thought the values were something that were intrinsically good, and I just thought to myself, why am I delaying it anymore? Especially reading the consequences of dying a disbeliever, I thought, what is the point? I've already given up so much. Just do it. I took my Shahada